ونستغفره ونستهديه سبحانه وتعالى ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه أما بعد. There is a concept in the jurisprudence of the fiqh of Al-Islam, the perfect jurisprudence of Al-Islam, that has a number of khasa'is that no other religion can even come close to measuring up to what Islam brings to the table. That's because this religion is the last complete religion that Allah Azza wa Jalla has sent His messenger, His Rasul Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with. It is a concept that it is well worth your time and effort, Ya Abdullah, Amatullah, to come to know about these issues with their proofs and their why, in order to get a better appreciation for our religion, in order to worship Allah ala basiratin as well. This concept is what is known as Ad-Dururiyatul Khamsa, the 5 basic necessary things that Islam has come to protect, connected to every human being, man, woman, child, Muslim, non-Muslim, Arab, non-Arab, rich, poor, the whole gamut of what human beings represent as it relates to being on this earth. The 5 necessary things that are connected to our lives. I don't have time to go through all 5. Not today anyway. Inshallah, we'll deal with 3 at another time. But I want to deal with 2 of them today in order to give a tafkir and a tanbih, some nasiha to a few segments of our community due to an ongoing challenge that we're seeing being done. It's kind of weird, but that's the situation. The most important issue from the 5 necessities of Islam is the deen, the religion. The religion of Islam, the legislation of Islam, the Quran and the Sunnah, Rasulullah coming to the earth, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He came with a religion, and the goal, the objective of this religion was to protect the religion that people were upon, even the religion of non-Muslims. Because we have that concept in the religion, La ikraha fi d-din, qad tabayyana rushdu min al-ghayy. There is no compulsion in this religion, because truth stands clear from falsehood. So some of us are married to women who are Christians and Jewish women. It's not permissible in Islam to force them to become Muslims. The notion, the lie, the kadhib, the iftira, Al-Islam spread by the sword, meaning Rasulullah stood over the people and threatened them, if you don't become a Muslim, I'm going to kill you. That's not our religion. Islam came and it prevented Muslims from forcing non-Muslims to become Muslims. It came to even protect their religion, although Islam doesn't condone and it doesn't endorse the kufr and the shirk and the things that they're doing. As it relates to the deen, many things have been legislated in order to protect our religion. A lot of do's and don'ts. Allah made things haram and halal in order for your deen to be protected. For example, last week we talked about sponsoring and fostering orphans. The orphan is represented in the Dururiyatul Khamsa, all 5 of them. And that we have Muslim brothers and sisters who are orphans in this country. And either the Muslims are going to foster them or non-Muslims will foster them. So it becomes a religious obligation, as I said last week. Why is it religious? It's a religious obligation for a Muslim to help another Muslim from losing his religion. That's your job. That's your responsibility to the best of your community, your ability. Right here in this masjid, right here. Everybody who's utilizing this masjid. You're a Muslim in Liverpool, it is your religious responsibility to take care of this masjid, to help this masjid, because you help Al-Islam to be here. So Allah has legislated in the Quran and the Sunnah that you give sadaqah from your money, because you have a responsibility religiously to keep Al-Islam flowing. This is not a place where you just come and you go after doing your ibadat. You have a religious obligation to help maintain, preserve, and protect the identity of Muslims and the identity of your children, my children, and so forth and so on. That's been legislated. Many things. Al-Jihad fi sabilillah. Al-Jihad fi sabilillah has been legislated to protect the deen. Allah mentioned many ayat of the Quran وَقَاتِلُوهُمْ حَتَّى لَا تَكُونَ فِتْنَةٌ وَيَكُونَ الدِّينُ كُلُّهُ لِلَّهِ. Fight them, Muhammad. Fight the non-Muslims until there's no fitna. And fitna here means shirk. Until there's no shirk and kufr. And the religion is for Allah. When you look at some of these crazy people, and I call them crazy, وَأَعْنِي مَا أَقُولُ. These crazy mutashaddideen, mutatarrifeen, these crazy people. Daesh, Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab, these crazy people. They don't understand the fiqh of Islam. They understand that jihad is just to spill blood and to kill people. Jihad is not for that. Jihad has been legislated in order to protect the religion. The people who do what Daesh does, those people compromise all 5 of the Dururiyat of Al-Islam. Those people who killed that soldier, Lee Rigby, that compromises the 5 Dururat, the Dururat that comes of Al-Islam. Another ayah proving the point, showing the point. وَلَوْلَا دَفْءُ اللَّهِ النَّاسِ بَعْضُهُمْ بِبَعْضٍ لَهُدِّمَتْ صَوَامِعُ وَبَيْعٌ وَصَلَوَاتٌ وَمَسَاجِدُ يُذْكَرُ فِيهَا اسْمَ اللَّهِ كَثِيرًا. If it wasn't for one group of people pushing back and repelling another group of people, then what would have happened is people would have destroyed churches and synagogues and masjids and other places of worship that the people set up for themselves. So jihad has been legislated to stop people from preventing other people from worshiping. They may be Jewish, they may be Christians, they may be Muslims. So the point here is jihad was legislated for what? Legislated to protect the deen and not to spill blood and just kill people indiscriminately. Which brings me to the issue of today concerning the deen. It has been legislated in Al-Islam that Allah has prohibited us from marrying people who are polytheists. Men and women, especially the women from our community, listen to what I'm telling you. Those of you who have children, sons and daughters, yourselves, marriage is an institution in Al-Islam. Whoever does it has completed half of his deen. But in our religion, marriage and this institution of marriage has been legislated for what? To protect your religion. And one of the things that has been legislated is, it is haram for the Muslim man to marry a mushrika. For a Muslim woman to marry a man who is not a Muslim. Another ayat, Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, وَلَا تُنْكِهُ الْمُشْرِكِينَ حَتَّى يُؤْمِنُوا وَلَا عَبْدٌ مُؤْمِنٌ خَيْرٌ مِنْ مُشْرِكٍ وَلَوْ أَعْجَبَكُمْ أُولَٰئِكَ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى النَّارِ وَاللَّهُ يَدْعُو إِلَى الْمَغْفِرَةِ بِإِذْنِهِ. You men, do not marry your daughters off and do not marry your girls off to polytheist men, men who make shirk. Any non-Muslim, don't marry them off to them. Because a man who is a Muslim and he is a slave in bondage, a riq, he's a slave. He is better than a free man that has a lot of money, but he's making shirk. And the reason for that and the wisdom for that is clearly the woman is usually going to follow the man. Usually, that's the sunnah of Allah. That's the asl. Things have come upside down now with many people, but that's the asl. There's a surah in the Quran called Surah Al-Mumtahina, the surah of testing. Testing, where Allah told the Prophet ﷺ and told us by default as well. فَإِنْ عَلِمْتُمُهُنَّ مُؤْمِنَاتٍ فَلَا تَرْجِعُهُنَّ إِلَى الْكُفَّارِ لَا هُنَّ حِلٌّ لَهُمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحِلُّونَ لَهُنَّ. This ayat is a tremendous ayat, and it happened during the time of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The lady who was a mushrik in Mecca would embrace Islam, make her way to Al-Madinah, and she would pop up and show up in the Prophet's Masjid sallallahu alaihi wasallam or in his house. She says, I believe in Allah, I want to be a Muslim, I am a Muslim. Allah told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the believers, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu idha ja'akum al-mu'minat muhajiratin famtahinuhunna. If they come to you making hijrah, then test them. Allah knows whether or not they're truly Muslims, believers or not. And then the ayat went on to say, if they prove that they are believers, don't send them back to the non-Muslim men. Because they, those women, are not halal for those men, and those non-Muslim men are not halal for these women. So what's the point? The point here, Ikhwani Fillah, I don't know what it is about this particular city, Liverpool, out of all the cities that I've been to in this country, But we have this ongoing challenge of Muslim women wanting to marry non-Muslim men in our city. This is something that is not permissible in the religion of Islam. Even the Muslim man who's sitting out there, it's not permissible for you to marry a lady who is a Sikh or a Hindu or an agnostic, or a woman who is an atheist. No matter how beautiful she is, no matter how much money she has, no matter how much adab and akhlaq she has, it is haram, it is not permissible. And that's the imam, not only me, but any imam in the city. If you came to that imam and he agreed to marry you to that non-Muslim man, that imam is not doing his job, and he's fallen into a major sin of Islam. Now as you sit there, Abdullah, you may say, no way, Jose. No way will I marry a woman who's a mushrikah. And no way will my sister or any of my daughters marry someone who is a kafir mushrik. You may say that. And that's good. All well and done. That's beautiful. But you know what else is a problem here? That some of our friends and some of our ma'arif and some of the people we know, when they do that, it's not permissible for you to go to witness that nikah. It's not permissible for you to go and to bear witness to the anniversary. If they have a child that came out of that union as a Muslim, it's not permissible for you to go and to say mabruk or anything other than that. That is known in Al-Islam as Shahadat al-Zur. Like in Surah Al-Furqan, when Allah mentioned the Ibad al-Rahman. From what they don't do, la yashhaduna zur. They don't witness what is false. Now, one of the issues that we have, and I think everybody worth his weight in salt knows this in their religion. Some person, brother, is the newest Muslim. He is a revert. He's the youngest one from amongst us in Al-Islam as a mature adult. He knows. Some sister here is a revert. She's the youngest woman here as it relates to coming to Islam, and she's an adult. Both of them know the hadith of the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. تُنْكِحُ الْمَرْأَةُ لِأَرْبَعٍ. A woman is married for 4 reasons. And also, the woman marries a man for 4 reasons as well. The one reason he mentioned, فَذْفَرْ بِذَاتِ الدِّينِ تَرَبَتْ يَدَاكَ. Marry the lady that has deen, and you'll be successful. Marry the man that has deen, and you'll be successful. How many people are married to a person who has a PhD, and he doesn't know his ankle bone from his elbow in the religion? He doesn't know anything about Islam. You put him in front of the people to say the 5 pillars, 6 arkan, he doesn't know about his religion at all. Marry the one with the religion. That hadith of the Prophet ﷺ is encouraging us and telling us, marry the person because of the religion and your religion will be saved. It is permissible, as I mentioned many times, and it's not permissible. It is permissible for a Muslim man to marry a Jewish lady or a Christian lady. And I'm here to stand before you and say the truth, and that is, there are some Jewish people, women included, men included, there are some Christian women and men. They are good husbands and good wives. She has good akhlaq, good adab. Wallahi, she brings to the table the akhlaq of this deen and the saluk of this deen, and her respect and her ta'ah and her cleanliness and all what she does. So it is not permissible. If one of our community members married a woman who was white or Jewish, Christian, whatever, it's not permissible for you to look down on him with izdira. You look at them with disdain. Their marriage may be better than yours in terms of happiness, in terms of bliss, in terms of being functional and moving forward, and giving that man what he needs in order to be a functional citizen. We don't look down on them, but I will say to any and everybody, before marrying a Christian lady, before marrying a Jewish lady, you have to think not 1,000 times, you have to think 1,000,000 times. Because if Allah blesses you with children, there can be this issue of the struggle when it comes to what are the children going to be if and when they grow up. So the religion of Islam, it came and it told the people, marry those people from this religion first and foremost, and those people who have the religion, they are practicing people. That was from the Dururiyat al-Khams, and a lot can be said, but I got to get to the second point because this is a bigger problem. Well, it's just as big. The second issue that Al-Islam came to take care of, Ikhwani, was the nasab and the ansab of everybody who is sitting here. Islam came to take care of your background and where you came from, your lineage. taking care of the legacy of your father and your grandfather and his father and his father, all the way back to Allah knows when it started. Islam came to take care of who you are. I remember 1986, when I came into Islam, I saw some African American brothers who were Muslims, and they were speaking English in a broken way based upon the so-called immigrants. That's what they call Arabs, Pakistanis who came to America. They thought in order to be a Muslim, you have to talk like people were immigrants in America. I knew right away that's a problem, because I didn't come into Islam to be someone else. I came into Islam as an African American with my own background. Some of it good, some of it bad. I got to make jihad as it relates to those social issues. Islam came to protect who you are. So when the man wants to marry a woman from his tribe, or the mother or the father insists and give pressure on the child, marry someone from the tribe. Although it's not wajib, that lazim, you don't have to do that, but that's part of the religion. Islam came to protect your nasab. The issue that I want to talk about right here is, do you remember I told you last week about the orphans? From the Dururiyat al-Khamsa. We have to take care of those orphans, but when we foster those orphans, I told you last week, you can't adopt them. Adopting them. Adopting is, you take that child and you give him your name. He inherits from you. Those people you can't marry, he can't marry in the religion. Those people you can marry, he can marry in your religion, and that's wrong. In Jahiliyyah, the Arabs, part of their culture is that they used to do this. It was widespread at Tabani. One reason or another. This is my good friend. I want to show him my love to him. My commitment to him, I said, give me your son. Let me have one of your sons. And I'll become the father of that son. And I'll raise him like I am the father, and I'll give him my name. I die, he'll inherit. He'll die, I inherit. And that's what the Prophet did, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with Zayd ibn Haritha. Allah Azza wa Jal showing this community. Rasulullah is a human being. He's a human being. Shouldn't be worshipped. Don't go overboard. Allah made examples and lessons from the Prophet, and many examples in the Quran, showing people, if Allah would do that with him, then what about everybody else? Everybody else has to get the program. So he took this boy, Zayd ibn Haritha, as his son, went to the Kaaba and said to the people at the Kaaba, Zayd is my son. If I die, he inherits my money. If he dies, I inherit from him, making it known. And then Allah revealed those ayat. You know, he's not your son. He revealed the ayah, مَا كَانَ مُحَمَّدٌ أَبَا أَحَدٍ مِّن رِجَالِكُمْ وَلَكِنْ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ وَخَاتَمَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَكَانَ اللَّهُ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمًا. Muhammad is not the father of any of you men. All of his sons died. Qasim died. Tahir died. Abdullah, all of his sons died. He has no more sons. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa radiyallahu anhum ajma'in. He's not the father of Zayd or any of you men, but he is the messenger of Allah, and he is the Khatam of the Nabiyyin. Pay attention to this. People, they take people and they adopt them, and that's not permissible. To give yourself a name other than your father is a problem. Now I'm speaking to some of the reverts here, and I'm speaking to also the people, because alhamdulillah, people came forward last week, a number of people, and they want to get involved with fostering these kids. Want to make it clear. Fostering is one thing, sponsoring is one thing, adoption is another. It's not permissible. Listen to these three hadith that come from Sahih Bukhari and Muslim that the Prophet told us, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, about. Showing us to do this is a kabira from the kaba'ir. To change your father's name for whatever reason. The Nabi mentioned sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, من ادعى إلى غير أبيه وهو يعلم أنه غير أبيه فالجنة عليه حرام. Anybody who claims that he belongs to other than his father and he knows what he's doing, then the Jannah would be haram for him. It's a major sin. He told the people sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, لا ترغبوا عن آبائكم فمن رغب عن أبيه فَلَعْنَةُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ وَالْمَلَائِكَةِ وَالنَّاسِ أَجْمَعِينَ. None of you should run away from your father and connecting yourselves to your father. Your father divorced your mother. The ex-wife doesn't like her ex-husband, so she raises the children, changes their name to her new husband's name, changes her name, their names, to her father's name, gets rid of his last name. for whatever the reason is. Do not run away from your father's name. Whoever does that, may the curse of Allah be upon him, the curse of the Malaik, and the curse of all the people. Another narration is said, this is kufrun billah. Kufrun billah. Now, as I mentioned, people change their father's names for different reasons. Someone adopts a child and he does it. He didn't mean that. He didn't know. He wasn't doing it for any other reason other than that's the system, he thought. Still haram. Some people change the name for the reason that I gave you. The ex-wife doesn't like the ex-husband, and she does that. Let me tell that sister in Islam, you have to fear Allah. We all have to fear Allah. Maybe that ex-husband is a problem. He's a monster. He didn't give her her rights, gave all these problems. Now she want to get him back. 2 rights don't make her wrong. You have to fear Allah as it relates to that man and your relationship with Allah Azza wa Jalla. You can't do that. It's not permissible. Some people connect themselves to other than their father because of an iftikhar. They want to be someone they're not. Like the people who say that they're from Quraysh and they're not from Quraysh. They're not from Quraysh. He doesn't like his father, he gets away from his father. He disowns his father or vice versa. The father says, you're not my kid anymore. He says, you're not my father anymore. And they changed their name. Al-Islam came and insisted that people stay connected to their fathers because many reasons. Inheritance, there's so many reasons. Who you can marry, who you can't marry, and also Yawmul Qiyamah. Yawmul Qiyamah. The Prophet told the people, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, إِنَّكُمْ تُدَعُونَ يَوْمُ الْقِيَامَةِ بِأَسْمَائِكُمْ وَأَسْمَاءِ آبَائِكُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا أَسْمَاءَكُمْ. Yawmul Qiyamah, you'll be raised up and people will be called out by their names and the names of their fathers, not the names of their mothers. There's a fabricated weak hadith that the Muslim women who are feminists, they want to use that hadith to support what is batil. Just be comfortable with what is from our religion. The hadith said, Yawmul Qiyamah, you will be called by your names and by the names of your father. So-and-so, the son of so-and-so. And it could be good and it could be bad. The person who is ghadir, he steals from the spoils of war. He steals from the masjid. Someone comes up and gives me 500 pounds and says to me, give this money to the masjid, because he's Russian. He gives me the money to give to the masjid. I decide to keep that money. That's ghadir. Rasulullah says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, yuqalu li-ghadir yawm al-qiyamah هذه غدرة فلان ابن فلان على رؤوس الخلائق. Anyone who misappropriates and steals the money from the Bayt al-Mal, from the Muslims, he was supposed to give it to charity. He's supposed to collect money for the charity. He's collecting money for our mosque and he dips his finger in the bucket and steals the money. Anyone who does that, he will be given a flag. Yawm al-Qiyamah will be said, this is the thievery, this is the stolen property, it's the flag of so-and-so, the son of so-and-so. So in our deen, Ikhwani, the father has a position. And I'm not trying to be macho here, misogynistic, male-oriented. That's the religion of Allah. Our fathers have we have debt and gratitude to our fathers. Anta wa maluka li abik. You and your money belong to your father. You and your children belong to your father. Sitting there in that space right there, your father, your dad, he's the one who deserves to be praised for that after Allah Azza wa Jalla. So when Islam came, Ikhwani, to protect this nasab. So I want to say to the revert people, here in the UK, in America, Anglo-Saxon, Western Europeans, it is their practice. Christians and some Jews, some practicing Jews don't do it. It is their practice that you get 3 names. So the guy's name is O.J. Simpson. O stands for something, J stands for his middle name, Simpson is his family name. I, as a revert coming to the religion, I believe I have to name myself Ahmed, Bilal, Abdullah, following their way. It's not the way of Islam. If you come into this religion, you take a name for yourself, but you keep your father's name. You take a name for yourself, you can keep his name or take his last name, either way. But you don't give yourself 3 names. Now that revert, I can understand him making a mistake. I understand him. He doesn't know. He's brand spanking new. Coming to the masjid, the Muslims see you become a Muslim, you're African American, they always say, you're Bilal. Why you gotta be Bilal? You know how many names out there? They used to always get the African American Revert brothers, Bilal, Bilal, Bilal. So we have 25 Bilals. Did you see Bilal? Which Bilal? No, you take your time and get the fifth of naming yourself. The names of Islam are beautiful. So I understand the revert, but you know who I don't understand? I don't understand the Muslim woman who's an Arab. I don't understand the Muslim woman who is Pakistani, Afghani, Bangladeshi. And I'm not putting anyone down. She marries her husband. Her name is Fatima. Abdullah is her father's name. Or her name is Fatima Chowdhury, for an example. But when she marries her husband, she changes her last name to her husband's last name. That's not our religion. That's not our religion. I only gave those examples, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, as an example. Not making time in anybody. That's what I don't understand. Now, even with those people, because they're Ajam, I can understand them too. Ajam. What I can understand is the Arab. The Arab. Because even in our countries where Islam may be weak, and many of us may not know a lot about Islam, this is something that our ajdad have left for us, where when did the Muslim lady ever get married on the day of her nikah and they wrote the act? They changed her name to her husband's name. When did that happen? It happened when the Muslims came and they started mixing with non-Muslims and we lost our religion. So brothers and sisters in Islam, the message here, the Dururiyatul Khamsa, two of them, the deen. Hold on to your deen. Hold on to your deen. Giving money to the masjid, helping the masjid, being a part of the masjid, having something to say in the masjid, taking care of your Islam, Islam of your children, all kinds of issues. Learn your religion. And the other one, today, your NECESSITIES. Take care of who you are and where you come from. And teach your children who they are and where they come from. And don't bring to us in the office your daughter along with a non-Muslim boy who wants to accept Islam after 3 or 4 or 5 months for today, the day of the nikah, expecting us to marry you. We're not going to marry you like that. We're not going to marry you like that because we know you're just wanting us to facilitate what is not permissible. I haven't been sent to open up people's hearts, but if he was sincere, let him accept Islam today. And for those of you who don't fall into this, and you won't fall into this, your co-worker who's a Muslim wants to marry a lady who's a mushrikah, you can't attend that. You can't witness that. You can't buy gifts for that. You can't be a part of that. La samahallah. A man's daughter falls into this problem. Marries a non-Muslim. He can't condone that. He can't condone that. He has to talk to his daughter. He has to talk to that man. He can't just act as if everything is okay. He has to take a position with hikmah, do what is necessary. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ونسأل الله تعالى التوفيق والسداد. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا وطيبا مباركا فيه. One time I gave a khutbah here funny about the importance of Allah and the name of Allah, and how the hadith said if someone asks you about Allah and you can do it, you should do it. Gave a whole khutbah about that. Today I'm asking this community, men and women, whoever has the ability, I'm asking you about Allah to donate generously to this masjid. The amount of money that we have, it has dipped significantly. And it shouldn't be the case, because we have a lot of people here. It is your job and your responsibility to help this masjid. We are not living in Qatar. We're not living in Saudi Arabia, where the dawla is taking care of the masjid. No, we're right here in the UK. And that means that we are hoping, expecting, that everybody here takes the time out to give from his money. And I'm asking that by Allah, so that we can continue, inshallah, to do things that we have to do as a community. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Quran al-Kareem. We ask Allah Ta'ala to make it easy for us and you. Establish us upon His deen. Protect us, protect our children. Aqim as-salat yarhamakumullah.